This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the season 2 finale of Andor, plus reactions to new trailers for Superman, Ironheart, and Nobody 2. We got updates on the Highlander reboot, a Rambo prequel movie is in the works, and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, May 19th, 2025.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hello, what's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us, he's been going through an extensive creative rebrand. Originally known as Rug Boy, then he was the artist formerly known as Rug Boy, then he was just Oi for a hot second. And now, after months of focus groups, millions spent on assets, his new name, new and improved, is HBO Max. I mean, Rug Boy. It's just Rug Boy.
Well, we were toying with the idea of a carpet person.
Carpet individual.
Yeah.
To keep it, you know.
Well, that would, yeah, I mean, if we were following the HBO Max timeline,
Yes,
we would have gone Rug Boy.
Yes.
Then we would have just gone Boy.
Yes.
Then we would have just gone Boy, but changed the color scheme.
Yes. Different
Then we
color
would have
boy.
been like, well, fuck, we'll just go back to Rug Boy.
Yeah, it is so hilarious if you think about, because remember, it was HBO, and then before they had this, it was HBO Now, then they had HBO Go, then they did HBO Max, and then it was Max, and now it's HBO Max. How much money did you fucking spend with all these terrible names and decisions?
But that's the ultimate show of corporate stupidity.
Yeah.
It's all people trying to justify their own jobs.
Yeah.
Not what can I do that looks like I'm doing something when I'm actually doing nothing?
Well, some executive who gets paid tons of money sat there and went like, you know what? What if we just go back to HBO Max? And then he cashed the check and went on vacation.
It's like I could just picture them all sitting at a table, and they're like, "What do you do here, sir?" Well, I'm on the marketing thing, and I think we should change it to HBO Go.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the scene in Office Space where the two guys are evaluating the makeup of the company.
Oh, yeah.
And they just go, so what is it you do here?
You do. Bob's.
Well, I think of HBO.
Yeah.
And I think of Max.
And then I think
and I come up with the names. And I got two ideas. And I'm going to go with HBO Max. I mean, HBO, out of the choices, HBO Max is probably the better choice.
Yes, because Max was a dumb name.
Yeah, that was dumb.
But
that's someone. Does anyone have a friend named, no one likes a guy named Max?
No, I mean, yeah.
There's not a lot of Maxes out there.
You're
that
like,
I've
who's
said.
Max? It's a Max show? Who's Max? So clearly Zaslav came in, and then when they bought Discovery merged, he's like, oh, we got all this shit, call it Max. But clearly it's not working, and I think they're splitting it up again, and there was talks of him selling off half of it, and Warner Brothers and all that shit is in one silo, and so yeah, figure it out.
Well, what's crazy not the word. What's interesting is Warner Brothers Discovery as a company.
Yeah.
The streamer, the name of the streamer is all over the place.
Yeah.
But if you look at, I'm taking this on a tangent. If you look at the box office receipts.
Yeah.
They've been killing it this year so far. They've released
Sinners.
They did Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
And Final Destination Bloodlines are all Warner Brothers
and
movies.
they got Superman coming out, and they needed these wins because they were putting out clunkers.
Right.
But for HBO Max, I'm just going to play this for them.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together.
Anyways,
should we go on a streak though of just calling Rug Boy boy?
Oi, or yay.
Oi?
It should just be oi.
Call me rugby.
Rugby. We could call it rugby.
Hey, oi.
Listen, call him whatever you want. Don't call him late for dinner.
Just call me Rug.
The Rug. Sir
Well,
Rug.
when you call him oi, it reminds me of what's his name in the boys, the main
Oh
character.
yeah, Carl Butcher. Carl,
Right.
yeah, he does.
Boy.
Oi, listen up.
Boy.
Listen, we got some real shit to talk about. Let's get started.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
More fun trailers to discuss this week. They just keep putting out crazy trailers. This time, it's Superman's turn. We've been given a really long teaser. It was nice, had no dialogue. Then we got a whole scene with Krypto dragging Superman's body to the Fortress of Solitude. And now, 2 months before release, an official trailer with dialogue and some more story beats. And it's racking up the views. Anthony, let's just start with you. Everybody's seen it. What do you think? How does this affect your expectations of this movie?
When I initially saw it, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I was over the moon about it. I think what I most liked initially was the interview that Lois is having with Clark.
Yeah.
Where he's talking about intervening in a war and how he's not representing anybody and that people were going to die and he saved people. Like that's all he cares about. And I like that mindset. I also like that he's got a close relationship with his parents. His dad is telling him, his actions make who he is.
Yeah.
And all that stuff I think they're nailing perfectly. And I think it's almost a response to the way Superman was portrayed under Zack Snyder, right?
Yeah.
Where I think one of the hardest things to nail about Superman is that the good Boy Scout guy that just wants to do good, like that's a hard thing to nail.
Right.
And I think with these trailers, it seems like they're on that right path. What is concerning when you think about the other things is you guys might have brought this up in the first time. I glossed over it the first time, but now I'm looking at it the second time with this trailer. They got a lot of shit
There's
going on.
a lot going on.
There's a lot of fucking characters.
Absolutely.
And
yes,
that's a little concerning because what Marvel, like if you're going to follow the Marvel blueprint, Iron Man didn't have that many characters.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to set up 4 other superheroes. This movie has a lot of stuff going on. And I think Gunn could potentially nail it. It's almost like why do you need this many characters? Why not just make a good ass Superman movie? So a little conflicted with the amount of characters, but I do like the tone, and I liked that interview with Lois was great.
I love just that feeling of frustration he has when in that interview scene is fantastic. Also showing us she already knows that he's Superman clearly,
right?
But that frustration of when she's like, "Did you ask the president?" and his sigh where he's just like, "No," it's so good. But that is some great stuff that I saw in the Superman and Lois show, which made that show great. Now, yes, there's a lot of characters. We've seen Gunn handle a lot of characters well. And, you could even argue like Star Wars, there's a fucking ton of characters that they had to all introduce. So it can be done, but there's a lot going on. Ruggs, how did this trailer hit you? We got to see the engineer, Metamorpho, both his parents, and Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Ultraman, and Frank Grillo. There's a lot of things.
Well, with the acceptance of Frank Grillo, we've seen a movie that tried to introduce a bunch of characters fighting a very powerful being. Remember the Shazam movie?
Oh, yeah.
Black Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters and that didn't get their due in that one either.
Yeah.
They tried to do too much in that movie as well. Hopefully you don't have a skateboarder kid in this movie.
That kid was the worst.
Terrible
skateboarding kid.
I still can't fucking get that kid out of my head. But I feel like I watched a video from Film Threat with Chris Gore.
Uh-huh.
And he's kind of an insider, so he said that from what he's heard, this trailer is a misdirect.
Oh.
So my intent, what I think he's intending by saying this, I think my version of it is that this interview that it seems like Lois knows that he's Superman.
Yeah.
It's actually just Clark Kent pretending to be Superman for Lois in an interview.
Oh.
And maybe that's the misdirect. I'm just going out on a limb.
She says clearly, you'd let me interview you as Superman?
Yeah, you let me interview you as Superman to Clark.
She's recording it. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But the word misdirect was thrown out there. So
that
what could be the misdirect?
That could also mean like all this shit kind of happens in like the first half of the movie, maybe.
I'm wondering what the misdirect is. He doesn't want to give it away. So I'm wondering what this trailer is misdirecting us about. So with that said out there, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. I think that my another theory that I have is that the whole movie is the interview.
Yeah, I've heard that too, that maybe it's flashbacks or this interview is the narrative gimmick he's using to show all these different things in different times.
Right. So that would be interesting. I don't know if they're doing that either. But the movie looks like it could, if it does have a misdirect and we're only seeing a little portion of what's actually the thrust of the film, I think it's up for grabs, right? So I don't know. I still don't know how to feel about this movie. There's things I like, there's things I don't like.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of like the more I watched it, it started to give me chills. It kind of gave me a little bit more geek boner.
Yeah, I lean that way too.
Horn Sweat has this very like classic, almost like 50s look, and some of the Superman shots look kind of Silver Age. Did you notice this? This is fascinating to me. That scene where the guy throws the can at the back of his head.
I heard about this.
So originally, and I looked it up, and this is true, but this is wild. So this is what happened. In the teaser, you see that scene, and Superman's right eye blinks when the can hits his head, as in he flinches. And the internet got mad and said Superman shouldn't flinch, which I get because he can have a bullet shot at his face.
The internet was right, yeah.
And it would bounce off and wouldn't feel it.
Wrong.
So James Gunn and company clearly paying attention to this, and they fucking took it out. And now when the thing hits his head, he doesn't flinch at all.
If he's wrong about that, how many other things is he wrong about?
Oh shit, he changed something already that we can see. But you get it. I mean, you get a good look at Metamorpho. You see Lex and the engineer in the Fortress of Solitude. His lines are kind of great. I do love when he's like, he's not a man, he's an it, and he's just kind of jealous of Clark, of Superman, which is perfectly in line. It's colorful. Both his parents are alive. But and you got Mr. Terrific. There's so much shit going on. You got a kaiju.
I got more comments.
Okay.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
The line that interview again is great. I like the part too where he just he gets so frustrated because she's talking about the politics and the consequences of his actions, and he just goes, "People were going to die."
Yeah.
I think that encapsulates Superman really well.
Yeah.
I think the music also is kind of a cheat code because they're using the Williams. Is it Williams?
Yes, John Williams.
John Williams sort of, right? They're remixing it.
Yeah.
So that music is a cheat code to get you to really feel something. I do think I'm interested to see how what's his name Holt plays Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He looks a little young for my liking.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's a better take than the neurotic take we got from Eisenberg.
Oh, it's all Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, no, it's already better than fucking Jesse Eisenberg.
And everyone kind of likes
piss jar Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah,
everyone likes what's the original? Who's the guy that played him?
Gene Hackman, dude.
Everyone likes Gene Hackman's portrayal. I'm going to tell you right now, it might be a hot take. I don't think Gene Hackman's portrayal is all that.
It's like
Michael Rosenbaum, best Lex Luthor of all time.
Hackman plays it up. He's kind of goofy, campy.
He's goofy as fuck.
Yeah. But he goes
with Otis is old. It's like, to me, that's a little that's not comic book accurate at all.
He's not, and he's not even really menacing, but kind of. It's Gene Hackman. Everybody loves Gene Hackman.
I don't know why they don't just hire Michael Rosenbaum to play him again.
They should. He's the right age. He's a little. I mean, even if he's a little older, I think he's
the perfect Lex. He's he doesn't even act anymore. He's just doing his podcast.
Yeah. No, a lot of people said he's the best Lex Luthor. I do love when his mom is like, "You need your boots? I'll go get them clean for you." That's cute. But Ruggs,
I also wait. One more thing.
Yeah.
On the parents, and then you can go in. I also like that the dad. This caught my eye.
Yeah.
That the dad isn't some he doesn't look like a movie actor.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a guy off the street.
Yeah.
Like he's balding and fat.
Yeah. No,
I like that he looks like a normal person and not like Kevin Costner is the dad.
And so I heard also his house is not a farm, but it's like a double wide trailer. And it's because there's a lot of James Gunn in this. I think he grew up in double wide trailer also, so, and that's his dog. But that guy playing his dad is like a really good actor. I think he's won some Oscars. Pruitt something. But yeah, very real looking, very relatable, right?
Looks like a real person.
He looks like a real person. There's a crazy shot of Mr. Terrific and Lois in this fucking circular portal thing. I don't know what's going on. Ruggs,
Don't kill the dog.
no, he can't kill Crypto. He's fucking bulletproof. He's fucking Crypto. Ruggs, you said the music is doing all the work.
Yes, I believe that 100%.
What do you mean
I've
by
said that many times.
Yeah, what do you mean? Especially here too?
Yeah, I think that if it's the music that really heightens everything. So like visually, like I've just turn off the sound and visually what's going on. It doesn't evoke any feelings really. Like if you were just to like tune out the music and just see what's going on, it's at a certain level. With the music, it goes up like 4 or 5 levels. So it's nostalgia for like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia for Brandon Routh because they used it too. It's nostalgia for just the theme in general. And like the Williams themes, Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
They're very effective. So at evoking flight, invoking wonder. So whereas like you had the Junkie XL or whoever the fuck, I guess who did the one with Zack Snyder was not bad.
It was Hans Zimmer, I thought.
It was Hans Zimmer. You're right.
Yeah, Man
It
of
was
Steel.
not bad, but it didn't have the same grandeur. Even in Justice League, they tried to put that Superman theme into it because the other theme wasn't working in Justice League with Junkie itself. So, yeah, it is a cheat code, but of course they should use it, right?
Absolutely.
The music.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, like, the reason why I'm like trying to take my nerdness out and go be objective and go, yeah, it's the music that's really what's doing it, because that's what's bringing back all of the memories. So,
I mean, there's some beautiful shots.
do I have to really explain it?
No.
You asked me to.
I did say the music was the cheat code, so I agree.
That's essentially. There's some beautiful shots in here, like that one shot where he's in the brown clouds and he's just kind of floating there. Look,
I would agree though, real quick, and Rem, before you get into that I'm watching it now without the music.
Does it do anything?
There are some decent shots, but it isn't. It looks somewhat paint by numbers when you look at it without the music.
I mean, I wasn't blown away by this, and I'm still hoping it will elicit a sense of wonder, which is what a Superman movie should do. Let's see it entirely, but it's increased my geek boner just by like 2 centimeters.
2 centimeters.
Okay, maybe 3 centimeters. Maybe an inch. But it's definitely getting there, and it's colorful. We'll see. I'm glad we heard him speak. As far as there's early box office projections from Jeff Snyder. I have lots of Jeff Snyder things this episode, just like every episode. He said that he's heard Superman currently tracking big at $175 million domestic opening. That would be huge.
I say 120.
120. And then there's still the question is, does this make $1 billion? Does Fantastic Four make $1 billion? Or do neither of them? Because there's so much shit out there. He also heard about he got a reaction from someone he knew who saw the latest test screening. And he said that all the text said was Superman stinks. But that's just one guy. I don't know. I'm excited to see this. I think it's going to be fun. Listener, let us know what you think of the new trailer. You can join this conversation. Join our Facebook group.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's going to be a movie that everyone's going to love when they see it. And then 2 years later, they're going to be like, it wasn't that good.
They're going to hate it and be like, you know what?
I'm getting Black Panther syndrome out of this. Or like Captain Marvel syndrome for sure.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, of the two, I would say Captain Marvel is probably the more appropriate.
Yeah.
You could. So you're saying everyone's gonna say it's great, and then be like it wasn't that good, or the other way around.
With Black Panther, it was all right. It wasn't it wasn't bad. It was just like way overhyped. And then with Captain Marvel, it was terrible, and everybody said it was great. So,
well, Black Panther also had the Oscar nomination, so that juiced it up. Captain Marvel was more like, if you don't see this, you hate women.
If you don't like this, you're just a misogynist. Get the fuck
right.
Right.
Anyway,
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think Gunn is pretty solid, but we haven't really seen him do a non-ensemble film in a while.
No, and this seems ensemble.
I mean, he's kind of making it ensemble, which it doesn't need to be. I mean, Superman has an ensemble, right? He has Lois, he has Jimmy. Is Jimmy even in this?
Yeah, Jimmy Olsen's in it. You got, Perry White.
Yeah. But it's not like a team per se,
right. But if he exists, he's like the center of the universe that everybody has to know or cross paths with.
It is interesting though. Like Gunn, while we're on it, just real Gunn deals with like broken characters that are looking for family.
Yeah.
And Superman, he is looking for he has a family.
He's found his family. Yeah.
But he's not necessarily like, he's pretty set in who he is. And he's very confident in like the values that his adopted family gave him. So he's not like broken like in that sense.
No,
I mean, he's a man out of like kind of like Cap, like a man out of time.
Yeah.
An old school, but that's not necessarily a broken man. So it's interesting. It's just different. Like we said from the beginning when we knew that Gunn was going to do this, it's not really Gunn's wheelhouse, this kind of character.
I don't think he's never had a character that's like this Boy Scouty wholesome. But dude, this movie has so much heavy lifting to do. It's got to keep up the Warner Brothers streak. It's got to establish and introduce not only a new Superman, but a whole new DC
whole universe
that goes on. And if this bombs, like, what happens then?
Is Jor-El in this movie?
That's another good question. We had that rumor that Bradley Cooper was going to play Jor-El. I think there are more big cameos that they are hiding. So there's going to be even more people we're going to see, but this movie has a big task ahead of itself. They recently also said the 4 cornerstones of this DCU was going to be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl, which is super interesting because they have a Batman, they don't have a Wonder Woman. But that's what
I heard a rumor about this movie also, but I don't know if it's true.
Oh, hold on.
So
do you want to say it or not?
Sure, it's not that bad.
Okay.
I heard that he gets a new suit at the end of the movie.
Okay. Okay, sure, fine.
Maybe they tack that on to make everybody happy.
Give him more of the classic suit.
Yeah, without all the weird lines on it and shit.
We will know very shortly. July 25th. It's coming out. 2 months. Okay. Yeah. What was I saying? Jock and Nerd Nation Facebook group. Join it. Jock and Nerd. You get it. Moving on. It's a closed group just for you. Here's another trailer of the next Marvel project. It's Ironheart. Remember this? Remember Riri Williams? Remember this show that was shot probably 3 years ago? It's been sitting. We got our first trailer. The show does debut June 24th with the first 3 episodes. Ruggs, let's start with you this time. What'd you think of this trailer? She gets through a little elevator test from the Red Hood, little booby trap, kind of a little Mission Impossibly, and then she gets out, not how he wanted her to get out. And then you see Chicago, you see magic and science and Iron Man suits. She wants to build something iconic.
But it's just, I find that's really hilarious.
Nobody's built anything iconic in the MCU, by the way. Nobody.
No.
What'd you think? Especially since they are pushing Ryan Coogler's name heavy, trying to capitalize on some sinner's buzz, possibly, right in the beginning. Executive producer. Could this be any good?
I mean, in the grand scheme of Marvel, it just looks like whatever. Like, there's nothing, doesn't look terrible. It looks fine. I'd probably watch it.
It does look just fine.
It looks like a show about Iron Man, an Iron Woman, Iron Girl.
Yeah,
I know, and it's fine, and whatever. It seems like it's fine. I don't really, I'm not really like over the moon about it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
she just doesn't appeal to me. Like I don't feel like a sense of like charisma or like I don't want to say attraction, but I'm saying like interest.
Yeah.
I want to follow certain people, and you got this lead. She seems cool, but like, I don't know. I'm just not like Iman Vellani had like such
I was
a,
just gonna say instantly when Iman Vellani comes on screen, she's charming.
she kind of lights it up, and she
Yes.
was like, whatever. She just seems to be like a little bit more like abrasive and whatever. And even in the comic books, she's kind of like a little bit more, I don't know, jubilant.
Yeah, and her intro in Wakanda Forever seemed a little bit forced. Like it wasn't really necessary. But I don't know. Anthony, what do you think? Does this do anything for you? The most interesting thing to me of the show is this tech versus magic meets magic, tech and magic, like kind of street level drama. That could be something. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree that is probably the most appealing thing, is that she's not fighting evil version of herself.
Right.
Every intro movie or show
That's
seems
true.
to do that.
Yeah.
And the whole magic versus tech thing is actually an Iron Man thing.
Yeah.
And it's Iron Man and
Mandarin,
Mandarin. Yeah. And they never really have dove into that specific rivalry. So seeing it here is good. That said, this character is just very behind the, like, I don't think anyone really likes his character, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't know how the reception was for Riri in the comics. I didn't read the comics, but just seeing the online discourse about this character, just no one really likes her. No one really likes the characterization of a young kid in college building an Iron Man suit when Tony Stark took him 40 years to,
yeah.
do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think people like the I'm a kid and because I'm a female kid, I'm now put in a position where I'm the smartest person in the room all the time.
It's Shuri also. It's the same thing.
Well, Shuri and Ant-Man's kid.
Oh, yeah.
And, they're doing this thing, not even girls, but just kids in general. They're just making them smarter than the adults. And that's just oftentimes just really not true.
Yeah.
So all that stuff's behind the eight ball. Also, the fact that they've shelved this for 2 years.
Yeah, that's weird.
And decided to like dump it out now. And I think it's how many episodes are they releasing? Like 3 at a time?
I don't know. I think they're just doing the first 3 and then it'll be weekly.
I thought I saw that they were doing 3 at a time. I might be wrong on that.
See.
Let me just see.
Do you feel like the design for Ironheart is very, very generic? It's like design something that's doesn't look like Iron Man, but looks like Iron Man.
Right. Yeah. That's also criticism. It does look like there's only 6 episodes and they're dropping 3 on the same day. All that stuff points to me that like this show is they're not confident in this show and they want to get this out as soon as possible.
It's going to go. It's like Echo.
The only other intriguing thing though is Sacha Baron Cohen supposedly in this, and I think he's Mephisto.
Yes. Sacha Baron Cohen was supposedly supposed to be Mephisto. You have
nice.
That's great. I do like Anthony Ramos. He's got charisma, so he's the Hood. You have Jim Rash playing the same guy he was in Captain America: Civil War, and then Alden Ehrenreich at the end. Han fucking Solo, the young Solo, is in this, which is wild. His name is Joe McGillicuddy, but I don't know who he's supposed to be.
On the design thing too. If you Google just Ironheart and comics, I mean, they haven't even nailed it right in the comic.
No, it's always different, isn't it? There's like different design. It's always changing. I don't know if she has a definitive. It's just the character. Like I like Shuri more than I like this Riri Williams. The character just didn't really get a chance to gain any.
Yeah, they shoehorned her into the Black Panther 2. It just kind of set up for failure. I know you're going to talk about this next, but this is.
The comic version is so much cooler than what they have.
Well, because she's connected to Tony Stark, right? Which makes a big difference, and it changes everything. I believe she knows him, and he's like a mentor and stuff, right? Isn't that how it works in the comics?
I don't think so.
Really?
She just knows she's an MIT student
How the fuck did she make this fucking thing?
I mean, there was a lot of controversy around her, like them doing this with Iron Man initially, and I don't agree with like the fact that you can't do this. I don't know.
It could be great though.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think all the signs point to me like this is one of the Marvel shows that they greenlit. They filmed something really quick and then they realized, oh my God, like this direction we've been going in isn't working. And now we don't really know what to do with this.
This is still some of the Bob Chapek stuff they gotta take out, right? So it's been hit or miss. Like the Echo, horrible. Agatha was better than I thought.
Right.
This one, if it's gonna go back and forth, might be shit.
Daredevil.
Oh, and then Daredevil was good, but they had time to change that. I don't know.
I
if
feel like it's going to be middle of
alright.
the road. I think it's going to be middle of the road.
It
I don't
might-
think it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
It could be, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it might be just all right.
So
I think what I do think also on this show is, I think the incels are gonna have a field day. They're already having a field day.
Oh
with
yeah,
this
they're
show.
gonna review
Like this show. I feel like this show is going to be like just destroyed on the internet.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect fodder because you got all the stuff that they hate in one thing.
It's in one thing, so they can light it up.
And if it's not like awesome, that's just enough fuel for them to be like, see.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So I just don't think the show is positioned in a way that it can really succeed unless it's amazing.
You know, what if they casted Amandla Stenberg as Riri Williams?
Oh God, do you think would that help? No.
Yeah.
And then a twin of hers that looks nothing like her. So this is there's still a lot of Bob Chapek shit we got to get through. This live action. Then there's a Wonder Man show. And then let's not forget there is a Vision Quest show still. James Spader is coming back for that one. Paul Bettany will be in that one. The dude from Iron Man who played Reza Farhan Tahrir is also coming back.
Who the fuck is Reza?
Reza was one of those. It was that bald dude that was helping him. Was he the bad guy? He was in the first Iron Man.
Oh, that bald dude. Wait, doesn't he die?
Does he die? Maybe this is.
Yeah, that guy doesn't.
Not Ginson.
No, Reza doesn't he? He gets remember what's his face? I'm getting old. I'm forgetting the name.
Welcome to the club.
Obadiah Stane. Remember he's about to get the armor and then he turns on like that machine that like has his veins turning blue and like gives him paralysis or some shit.
Does he kill him?
But he died.
Maybe they bring him back.
Bringing him back.
He's reprising his role in fucking Vision. But also what's come out is there was Disney upfronts and there was all this news. Vision Quest is going to be the last MCU TV show that will have a major film character in it, meaning moving forward, they are separating this. The people you saw on the big screen, they're going to remain on the big screen, and people see on TV will remain on TV. It may cross over the big screen, but don't expect any more big screen MCU characters. I get. What does that tell you? What does that mean? Is that good? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it's not a great idea. I think it's the right idea. I think part of one of many reasons, although I would argue this is one of the bigger ones, that Marvel really went down a little bit in quality, or a lot in quality to a lot of people, was they went and expanded way too quickly and started doing TV shows and movies and releasing everything and anything. And I think they realized, one, that's hard to fucking do all that shit at the same time. Two, TV filming and movie filming and integrating those things together is a lot.
Yes.
I also think it became too much for the fans.
Yes.
Like the fans started feeling overwhelmed by all the TV and the movie.
Yeah.
So I think keeping those things a little bit more separate, streamlining those things to maybe one or two at most a year.
Yeah.
I think is better for the audience.
Yeah, I mean, in that Wall Street Journal article, Kevin Feige also was like, we've created a no new fans club. Ruggs, do you think this is a good strategy to have these silos, right? You got the live action silo or movie silo. You got the TV live action silo, Marvel Television. And you got Marvel Animation, which is its own silo. And things could be going there, but you don't have to watch everything to get everything.
Yes, like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, remember that?
Yeah, that really worked.
That was
out
great.
Good. Yeah.
That was great. Let's make a show about S.H.I.E.L.D. And then in the next Avengers movie, we're just going to get rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. So good luck.
I think what they should do is not this, but like you have to have a springboard, like so you could at least have the universe exist. Unless you're going to divide the universes and say this is one continuity, there's another one, and they don't cross over. But it'll be odd. It's just going to be odd to have all these successive Marvel things that are related to one another, but have no relationship to one another. It's just odd.
It'll be less homework to do, though. I see what they're getting.
Yeah, but it is weird. They have to establish it as like there's no continuity related between the two, and that's it.
All right. Well, we'll see how this plays
don't know.
out for the MCU. Okay, wait. Moving on. This is a fun trailer. Nobody 2. The sequel to Nobody, which was a surprisingly amazing John Wick light action movie. They made Bob Odenkirk into a badass somehow. That's not easy, but they did it. This one directed by Timo, I can't say this name, Jonto. The guy who did The Night Comes For Us. Super violent movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
He is stepping in, and if you watch the trailer, you've seen Hutch. Remember Hutch? He's going on vacation with his family, and shit happens. He's got to beat up people. Anthony, let's start with you at this time. Are you excited for this one coming out August 15th? What'd you think of this trailer?
I mean, yeah, Nobody was awesome.
Great.
Fun movie. I mean, a good B movie.
Yeah.
A good B movie that got a wide release and people liked. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not going for big time action, like blockbuster action, going in that like second level, and it nailed it at second level of, there's the big action movies like John Wick and Mission Impossible, which we'll talk about next week, and Fast 5. There's that stuff. And then there's like that middle tier. And then there's like the direct to video and bullshit.
So this
tier.
is like your working man beekeeper tier, or
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah,
Little
like
bit?
your working man. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, or even if we're going into like comparing it to the 80s, it'd be like your Under Siege.
right? Okay,
You know?
yes.
That type of movie.
Yeah.
B
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
B, but
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Good shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course I'm excited for this. They're I don't know the gimmick of like the docile looking guy
Yeah.
that can kick everyone's ass.
Yeah.
I don't know many more miles they have left on that, but I'll ride that cart till the wheels fall off.
I mean, come on, a guy.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
pay to see you, Imran.
Oh my
like,
God!
a fucking
In one of
movie
these,
like
if
this.
they
Yeah.
could make me into what they did with Bob Odenkirk, like he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt and he's on vacation, and I just love it. Like, he takes the claw game and the whack-a-mole and the pinball machine, and he just fucks people up.
Like it'd be the premise for Imran is that he is a sleeper.
Oh,
He's like Long Kiss Goodnight.
yeah, a sleeper
So
agent.
like and somewhere in his youth he like, disappeared, and then they did this whole sleeper thing where they trained him.
Oh, and then I got activated like fucking
yeah,
Winter Soldier.
he gets a phone call and there's like a tune playing on the other side.
I have to smoke a certain strain of weed, and it's a
Now
special.
you're just doing this to smoke weed.
It's a special strain of weed that activates the sleepper cell training in me.
I would have
Yeah, and
gone
also-
with they start playing Milli Vanilli. And then
Oh,
they
no.
turn.
The only thing is that the thing that sucks is that like these people have been anticipating like activating Imran for like years, but then they have no idea how much damage he's done to his body, so he's completely
I'm
useless.
useless now. Anytime I hear Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J, I just go into a fucking rage. I don't know why. It's very weird.
Oh my god,
this
I would
one-
love to see that movie.
You got Sharon Stone, Colin Hanks in this one. Michael,
You gotta make this movie.
somebody make this movie. Let's talk to Timo. Let's talk to Chad Stahelski. What'd you think of this trailer, Ruggs? Fun, right? I can't wait for this. I love the Nobodies.
Nobody. The first one I really liked. It was a different director, a Russian dude, I believe, and he's fucked off and he's doing Russian stuff. I don't know
the
why he
first
wasn't
one.
interested in continuing the franchise, but I'm interested to see what the guy who did
Oh,
The
yeah.
Night Comes For Us, because that's a fucking bloody ass movie. So I'm anticipating Mo Blood, dudes.
Oh, you had the
More
hardcore
gore.
Henry guy before, and now you got the Indonesian violent Night Comes For Us.
That movie is. You haven't seen that yet, Imran, right?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's a very bloody movie.
I've heard it's relentless, just relentless.
I mean, that
killing
original, the first Nobody. There's a part where he puts a stint in the guy's neck. 'cause
Oh,
he was
yeah.
choking on blood. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, no. This
Sharon Stone is in this movie. Are you sure?
Sharon
Yeah.
Stone is playing the.
Yep.
She's the bad guy, the female
She's a bad girl.
bad
Imran.
girl. Like the bootlegging thing he stumbles on is run by her. She's like,
Sharon
who's this?
Stone, wow.
Yeah, she's still making.
She's still around.
She's still around. She's still going. No, that looks great. August 15th. Can't wait. Let's move on to this next one. A very, very short teaser for a TV show. I can't believe it's actually getting made. Fucking Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Noir. Nick Cage as an alternate universe Spider-Man. And this is not coming out till next year, but they put out like this 30-second teaser with giving a little bit of the look in black and white. Nick Cage's voice Anthony, what does this do anything for you? I can't believe this is good. This is a real show that's coming out. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, I would have the same exact thoughts. Can't believe this is coming out.
It's crazy.
Can't believe this was greenlit, but
Yeah.
also, everyone's desperate for content, so I guess I can see it. Also really confused that it's launching on MGM Plus and Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So here's how it
What
launches.
is going on there? I'm very confused on this whole thing.
So apparently you can watch it in black and white or color. It will debut on MGM Plus and domestically, and then launch globally on Prime Video the following day. I don't know why they're even doing that. Just put it on fucking Prime to begin with, but it's a global show. But it's it gives me a little bit of like Sin City or Sky Captain World of Tomorrow vibes. It's crazy.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Ruggs, Nick Cage as a Peter Parker.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
I don't know. It doesn't remind me of Spider-Man in any way.
It's very different.
It reminds me of Sin City or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know. I have to watch it. It looks kind of questionable at this point. But
Nick Cage, it's going to be entertaining. Fucking Cage is in it.
I love Nick Cage. So I'm not even too hot on Spider-Man Noir either. But
yeah, I have not read a lot of it, and I just know it from the movies and a little bit in comics.
I'm interested. I'm not like shitting on it. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'll check it out when I see it. I'll know if I like it. Right now, I can't tell if I like it.
It's a year away, and it's a real short teaser, so it's got me pumped. I'll give it a geek boner. Here's something you will be interested in, Ruggs. You have been mentioned the Highlander reboot. What's been happening? I have some news on what has happened to Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill. It was at Lionsgate. It is now at Amazon. Here's what happened. Chad Stahelski, director, wanted $180 million budget to make this movie. Lionsgate, wasn't willing to go over 165. So there's not a lot of difference. Also, the other thing they didn't like is they have lost faith in Henry Cavill as someone who puts butts in seats. He's put out a couple of clunkers. Argyle, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Right.
Didn't do well. So Lionsgate got cold feet on this whole thing. The project has now gone to Amazon MGM, which has quietly been collecting 80s IP and putting them out on streaming. If you think about it, they got the Roadhouse. Henry Cavill just finished shooting Voltron, which is also going to come out on Prime Video. And now Highlander is probably not going to come out in the theaters. It's probably going to be streamed to Amazon. But Ruggs, 2 questions. Do you need $180 million to make this movie? And 2, can Henry Cavill still fucking sell tickets?
That I don't know. I mean, he was Superman.
He was.
And he was fucking Superman, which is a pretty big fucking deal if you ask me. I don't know if anybody can really put asses in seats anymore. I mean, Tom Cruise can't even do it. Remember his after Barbenheimer, his movie tanked.
It was
right?
bad timing. It was bad timing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think that the Ministry of Gentlemanly. I didn't even see that movie yet. I don't even know where it is. I want to watch it.
It's on streaming. It's on Amazon. You didn't watch it? It's okay.
I want to watch it, but I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I don't think that these movies were like his fault that people didn't go. I don't think there's just anybody that really gets people in the seats.
It's $180 million, a little bit unreasonable. Stahelski made the John Wick movies starting at $30 million. And then $40 million, and then $75 for the first 3.
It's a lot of money. I don't think he needs that much money to make Highlander. To be honest,
I don't think so either. Like the original thing is a low budget B fucking movie. You need maybe $20 more than what they spent to make it look good.
Yeah, I don't know. They should. I would never want Highlander to be that much money. I think it should be under $100 million for sure. And yeah, it just seems way high. It doesn't make sense to open an untested 80s franchise that no one really knows about, and you want to hedge your bets and make it low budget.
Yeah, you want to half that budget.
Yeah, I have some thoughts.
Yes.
I completely agree I agree for the most part with Ruggs. So I understand why Lionsgate said, "Oh, fuck this."
Yeah,
180 million for Highlanders. Let's just say that's too fucking high.
That's a lot.
That's a freaking almost a Marvel level budget for a movie that, let's be honest, this is a niche fucking movie.
Yes.
A corny fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like there's Highlander.
Watch your
fans.
mouth, Anthony.
I'm telling like it is.
There's fans,
there's
but
there's fans.
You gotta know what it is. Yeah.
This is not Terminator 2. This isn't Predator. This isn't even Commando. This is not a big thing. Okay. Secondly, I'll say it. Henry Cavill is not a box office draw.
You think he's done?
It's not that he's done. He's just not one right now.
Yeah.
There are very few. I would argue like Tom Cruise is still there. Leo.
Yeah.
There's a short list of people. There's not a ton.
Yeah.
But the combination of Henry Cavill plus Highlander IP plus 180 million. If I was Lionsgate, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
This movie should be, what Sinners was 90 million.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like this movie, Highlander should be 50 million. What was the original John Wick?
30 million.
30 million. Granted, there is a supernatural but
it's sword fighting. It's hand-to-hand combat and sword fighting.
Yeah, there is a supernatural aspect to it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he wants to really lean into that. But what the fuck, dude? Like Chad, and the thing is, Chad Stahelski, great director, one of the better action one of the best action directors there are. But his name is not big enough to he's not a guy that you put his name on a marquee that people are going to go out and see. They're seeing John Wick.
He's not a guy to demand 180
No, he's not. He's not Nolan or McQuarrie. He's none of these guys, not yet.
And they were going to give him
it's so ridiculous.
165, and he's like, no, that's not enough. Really?
I would have taken the 165.
Jesus.
You take 165, and I'm telling you what, right now, you do 165, that movie releases, it's going to lose money.
Look, they're going to spend $200 million on it, and it's going to come out on Amazon, and that's it.
The movie, I'm telling you right now, if they released it in the theaters, it's losing money. It's not making money.
Absolutely. And the larger thing is all these 80s IPs that me and Ruggs want to see. I want to see Voltron, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, fucking Road, all of this. You can't put them in theaters. It's not. You have to put it on streaming.
You got to be reasonable with the budget.
If you're reasonable, but
you can't see 165.
But
it's a numbers game. It's like they're spending lots of money. Too much money on something that's not going to return.
It's very niche stuff, and it's only people in their 40s that are going to fucking want to go see it anyways.
I said no more than 100 million, and 100 million is too much.
Yes, because you're going for the martial arts, right? You're going for the sword play, the sword fights. You don't need 180 million.
Chad Stahelski doing Highlander is great.
Yeah,
it's not good, but bro.
Dude,
160, 180.
I'll give you $50 million. Make this movie or shut the fuck up.
How much was The Fall Guy? Because that's another 80s thing.
Oh, that's true. And I don't know
how much they spend on that.
That really made 125 to 150 million is estimated budget.
And it made
that's more than enough.
Yeah, but it only
the box office was 180.
It only made 181 million.
So that was more than enough. They went too high.
Yeah.
If The Fall Guy would have been an $80 million movie, it would have broke even.
The stunts in that movie are great. They're great, and you can't make money with it. This is a very niche, like you said, Ethan. These are niche IPs that will not. You have to keep it reasonable because they're not going to make a lot of money. But they are making it. So,
but here's the thing.
Yeah,
here's the positive. It goes on Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon does not care about that kind of stuff. All they want is to please their subscriber base.
I feel like they'll give him whatever. They might give him 180 fucking million. They don't give a shit. They're making all this shit, and it's not even their main thing. But what's funny is they recently said we're going to put more movies in theaters, and then turn around and they're putting all these on streaming. But
they're making a second Roadhouse. You know that, right?
Yes, but that's going to be streaming also. I don't think that's going in.
Wait, who said they're putting them in theaters? Amazon?
Amazon said we want to focus more on theatrical releases when they bought MGM. But
okay.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie's directing Roadhouse 2, by the way, which I think that's fucking great. I think
but that is great.
Yeah.
But we also had Doug Liman do Roadhouse 1. And
it's all right. It's all right. I kind of like that Dalton. I'll hang out with him somewhere. Maybe he's
the more I think about that second Roadhouse, the lower I rank it.
Yeah. But come on, I got to see what happens to Conor McGregor's character at the end. He busted out of the hospital. I need to know. I need to see him screaming all his lines again. It's fucking fantastic. Okay, last thing. This thing you guys also will be quite interested in. Millennium Media which is the company that's given us the Expendables and the Fallen franchise. Olympus has fallen, London has fallen. They are.
I've fallen and I can't
I've
get
fallen
up.
and I can't get up. They make the clapper.
Life alert.
Life alert. They are working. They're shopping a John Rambo prequel origin story that is allegedly going to be set in Vietnam. It will explore Rambo's intense combat in Vietnam and directed by the guy who did Sisu, Jalmari Highlander.
Is it going to star Milo Ventimiglia?
Well, so here's the question. I don't think Stallone is aware of this. There may be a cameo. The screenplay is also written by the guys who wrote Black Adam. That's an issue.
No.
But yeah, that's bad.
No.
But who can you cast as a young John Rambo? That
I said
has
Milo Ventimiglia.
Milo Ventimiglia as a young Sly. You see him as a young Sly.
He was Rocky's son.
But he's old. How old is he now? He's going to be too old.
Oh, he's probably 50. So
is there anybody who could pull off that swagger and convince you that this is a young Sylvester Stallone? First of all, are you guys interested in this?
Timothy Chalamet.
Dude, don't be Tim fucking Chalamet.
Oh my God.
Hey, Anthony, do you want to see a John Rambo prequel in Vietnam?
So many thoughts here and conflicting things with all the names you released.
Yes.
Listen, so the original, I would be interested in a prequel Rambo.
Yeah.
If you go with the tone that was in the original Rambo,
In First
where it's this
Blood.
broken guy, I would love to see what made him so broken.
Yeah.
Like if you don't go full on action and you make it more of a character study with action.
Well, at the end of the first Rambo, at the First Blood, he tells you about his friends that got blown up and they're all in pieces and shit.
Yeah, we can
Right.
we can see that story.
So if we see a story about this like young whippersnapper that was ready to get into war and sees the horrors of war and ends up a broken man, like that actually could be good.
Yeah.
But they hired the guy to do from Sisu and the people that wrote Black Adam.
Yes.
So with that in mind, like you know kind of where you're leaning with this. So I don't necessarily like that angle, but if they're going to do this, then like make it bonkers crazy.
The Sisu guy will give you some action, right?
Sisu was fun action movie. There wasn't a lot of depth to that character.
Okay.
It was just a guy fucking destroying Nazis.
He's like Jason.
Yeah. Oh,
Friday the 13th. He just.
I mean, it sounds fascinating. Also, what if I would love to see like a reboot, a John Rambo, maybe
A reboot.
Yeah, no, a young Rambo. Maybe he's an Afghanistan war vet or an Iraqi war vet,
Oh, I think that's horrible.
and you reboot the John Rambo. No, and set it a
Wait
little
a
more.
minute.
Yeah, because when you come back from the war from Afghanistan, people spit on you and call you
Yeah,
baby.
you know that didn't happen as much as it did with the Vietnam people. So it's part of what makes him.
I mean, Imran,
No?
you're the guy that like. Well, it's more rugs, but I also feel like you lean towards like, why are you remaking all the '80s classics? And you just proposed to reboot Rambo.
Well, because I don't think you could find a guy that can play a young Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, but here's the
convincing.
thing: a young Sylvester, the character in Rambo is not a charismatic guy. He's a very broken guy.
Right.
You're not playing Sylvester Stallone. You're playing the guy that becomes broken.
That's true. So you could do, you know what?
You could actually cast like someone serious in a role like that.
What if it's just not Rambo? It's First Blood.
Yeah.
So the concept is First Blood, meaning that there's a guy who's a fucking like badass, can do fuck up shit, but he's trying to avoid trouble until they push him too far, and then they draw First Blood, and then all bets are off. And you could do that with anybody.
Well, the only way I would enjoy that is if you did it Anthony Polanski style and you had A24 do it.
Make it an A24 character study.
But that would be like the concept. It wouldn't be Rambo. It would just be the idea of each movie would be about somebody they pushed too far and then ended up fucking. They actually, the law and the people who are in the town are actually the villains. Kind of like that movie where the guy we just watched with the guy who was trying to get the money and then the fucking police were all crooked. It was on Netflix. I forgot.
Is it Havoc? Yeah.
No, not
Havoc.
The one with the guy, he was a former military guy who's riding on his bicycle. to get the money.
Rebel Ridge. Yeah.
Yes, that's like a First Blood thing
That
too.
is a very John Rambo movie. Yes. Man,
Yeah.
that guy's great. So the other issue with Millennium doing this is they also did the 2008 Rambo and the 2019 Rambo Last Blood, which both were not great. So I'll give me some more Rambo. We'll see what happens. They're just shopping it around. It's early. Look, 80s are back. All the 80s shit is going to come back. Never went away.
That's because there's nothing new that's good.
There's nothing new at all.
Nobody's thinking of shit.
Sinners is original.
Well, what I would say to that, there are plenty of new things. It's just you have to find. It's not like it used to be where people would go and watch this movie or that movie. It's like you have to actually seek that stuff out.
It's not like the 80s or 90s where that they just put out wacky fucking concepts.
And people would just go to the movie and be like, "Hey, we'll see that."
Yeah. What's this?
People are less adventurous to go to the movie theater and just see whatever is playing.
What's this? A guy busting ghosts? Yeah, let's go check it. All right, we'll take a break here. We're going to play some promos and come back and talk about the Andor Season 2 finale.
Andor.
Right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up? This is Brian, and I'm the host of Citizens of Pawnee, a Parks and Recreation podcast. That's right, a podcast dedicated to my favorite TV show, Parks and Rec. Every week I discuss my favorite things about the show, which include character breakdowns, episode rewatches, and other random facts and tidbits about the show. You can find me on Instagram at Citizens of Pawnee Podcast and listen wherever you get your podcast now. You will literally love it.
I'm Imran.
And I'm Sophia.
I'm the brother.
And I'm the sister. And we are watching a show about cousins.
We're your hosts for Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast.
We grew up watching the 80s hit sitcom, and now we'd like you to join us every week as we rediscover our love for our favorite TV cousins, Balky and Larry.
You can find our show at danceofjoypod.com and on all major podcast platforms. Now we are so happy, Sophia. We do the Dance of Joy.
Imran, this is a podcast. They can't see us.
Oh, po.
Doc and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, this is a great time to support, give back, join our awesome Patreon fan club. Just visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. Link in the episode description, and you can support the show on a monthly or annual basis and get stuff like access to an exclusive podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus content. Ruggs put up an Andor finale. Anthony sent in a movie review. Lots of fun stuff there. You can join us for our monthly Discord hangouts. We just had one last week. They are always lots of fun. The next one will be June 19th. And there's a tier where you can pick a movie. There's a tier where you get an exclusive t-shirt. Lots of fun stuff on the Patreon. We appreciate all the continued support. Okay, check it out now. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. All right, before we get to this week's review, Anthony's going to have to leave. Anthony, let me get the door for you here.
Whoa.
We'll see you in a little bit, okay, buddy?
They threw him out the airlock.
Okay, he's gone. All right, now that we've ejected Anthony out of the airlock, Ruggs, we're going to get to this week's review. It's Andor Season 2 finale. Here's your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
And if you've been following along, the reason Anthony is out in the vacuums of space at the moment is he tapped out after episode 5 of Andor. Not a Star Wars fan. We've forced him. It's fine. He tried. He made an effort. I appreciate it. You're not going to watch it? You're not going to watch it. What are you going to do?
It's like making me watch basketball or something.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to make me watch a sporting event. It better be fucking good. Anyways, Ruggs, where do you want to start? We've been given, I feel like we just talked about the premiere, and a short 4 weeks later, this whole thing is wrapped up with these 3-episode chunks, little mini movies.
Right.
Jumping ahead 1 year, all the way up to BBY 1 a year before. Actually, leading right up to the beginning of Rogue One. Very interesting. Now, let's just start it here. I will say I understand why Anthony tapped out, because I was also a little frustrated at this slow burn of a pace at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah, I think it was just heavily front loaded and spun its wheels a little bit. And it was padded out. Like, we didn't need to see all that. It didn't really add too much to it. They could have done this they could have gotten to the Gorman massacre a lot faster, and it would have been a better midpoint.
But now that I look at it, this is how I feel. Like, the first 3 were very leisurely. We didn't need 3 fucking episodes of the wedding. Whatever.
No.
Then 4, 5, and 6. It's a simmer. It's starting to simmer. I'll argue it's a little slow. 5, important things happen in 5 and 6. 7, the simmer goes up a lot. And then episodes, and this is what I want to tell Anthony, and I don't even get a chance to tell him. He's in space. I'll tell him later. Episodes 8 through 12 are fucking bangers.
Geek boner.
I thought that whole set of episodes kind of redeemed the
so
whole
there's
thing.
4 good episodes and 8 terrible ones.
8, 9, 10, 11. No, there's 5 good episodes and 6. I don't know.
All right. Okay.
No, but ultimately, I'm going to say at the end of the day, because after this ended, I watched Rogue One because it made me want to. And it continued to be the best Star Wars thing there is. It really is. It's good. It's quality, everything. The acting, the costumes, the production, the design, the locations, the music. It's nuanced. It's subtle. And the problem might be it's maybe a little too subtle at times.
Right.
But I thought everything was great. Give me your overall thoughts on how it ended for you.
Well, I thought that from the time that you get to from the Gorman
Massacre, episode 8.
And then you go there. I mean, even before the episode before that's not too bad. But as soon as that gets off and running, then like a lot of things are in play. And that makes the show interesting because now everything that's happening matters.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of the show, you got Andor on a fucking planet with a bunch of other dudes. He's got to get out of there. Then he finally gets out of there. He goes and visits his girl. And then he has to go to Gorman and check it out. He goes and just, I don't want to do it. And he doesn't even do anything.
I mean, he goes undercover.
He says, no, let's not do this.
Yeah.
And so there's not the main character, the name of the show, Andor, there's not really much going on there. He doesn't do anything cool or monumentally great. And he just kind of like is there.
But he's got a character arc. Like he went from a thief to captain of a rebellion, and you see him get involved and
sure,
into
but
it.
like that, this doesn't show him doing that really. This just shows him running on doing these missions and kind of like bumbling around and dealing with what's given to him. After the Gorman massacre, then he all of a sudden he's got a job. He's got to get this bitch out of there.
Yeah,
he's got to get my Mothma to safety. And then all of a sudden you like, all right, now Andor's got to fucking rise to the occasion and do what he needs to do. And him and his team got to get in and out. He's got the robot that comes and saves the day.
K2 is great.
And like all that stuff is like cool. Like, so he does get some action and beefs up his character, makes him more important. And then on top of that, Luthen dies. So as soon as Luthen dies, right? Like he's now got to step up and ascend to be more of a leadership role. So all this stuff kind of happens. But like only the important stuff happens after the Gorman thing, like where he has to rise to the occasion. So I feel like, yeah, it was a very weak first 6 episodes. I feel like the first 6 episodes were really crawling along. And I was like, man, they got to really, I don't know, what am I even watching?
Yeah.
And then when they sat down for that meeting and talked about the Gorman massacre, that they were going to do this thing on Gorman, that were going to try and create an enemy out of the people on Gorman by having them protect their home or defend themselves. And they were going to label them as terrorists because they were like not cool with the Empire being there.
Yep.
and it was very political, and it was very of our time, like reflecting what's going on in the world as we know it. And so all of a sudden, this gravitas, this reality, this verisimilitude that we don't get in Star Wars is there.
Yeah.
But it's not ripped out of the headlines. It's kind of like an amalgam of all these things that have happened.
Yes, it's you see him pulling from multiple revolutions, kind of, right?
Right.
French Revolution, other revolutions. And that's at the end of the day, the show is about like how messy a rebellion is. The people, the little movements that nobody knows about. How these factions don't even come together. You have Luthen and his crew. You have the Rebel Alliance. They don't trust Luthen. Then you got Saul, who's just a fucking maniac. But he says it best. He goes, "Am I crazy?" He goes, "You got to be crazy in a revolution." And he's huffing fucking gas fumes. It's amazing. He's like, "Get that rhino in your body, son. Light that fire. Light that fuse." So all these things, there's so many great moments.
And then you get it from the Empire side where you with Dedra.
Yes.
It's like she's kind of like this product of the Empire. She's been entrenched in it her whole life. And she's just kind of like at first looking for glory and looking for promotion.
She wants a promotion, like in a corporate environment. Yeah.
She wants to be acknowledged as important or whatever. And then she kind of gets into it with Cyril and she starts to think about things. She's like, listen, she wants to just ascend to a place where she can be above it all. She doesn't want to be in it anymore. She wants to kind of be above it. She starts to kind of get a distaste for having to do stuff. I mean, she's even panicking at one point.
I mean,
so
this Cyril and Dedra are fascinating characters. I kind of loved both of them more as the show went on. Can I just mention episode 5? Cyril probably has the best line where he reports back to the guy and she's there. And then he goes, "If I was to say this was the best day of my life, would you hope would that ruin everything?" And she's like, "Glad you're happy." And then just the comparison of like when he shows up after he hasn't seen her, she's like, "Were you followed?" He goes, "No." And then she's just like, "Turn out the lights." That's her sexy foreplay talk. Turn out the lights. And then you contrast that to Andor coming home to Bix and how they're all passionate. Fantastic stuff. So then in episode 8, where you have Dedra has to actually call give the command for the guy to start the Gorman massacre, right? And she hates that she did that. She does not feel good about that. Cyril is not being told everything, and he fucking chokes her out. He's he's like, "Tell me what the fuck is going on."
Well, he's over her at this point.
Yeah.
He's fucking around with one of the Gormans.
Well, because they sent him in to go undercover in the Gorman rebels, but I think
a double agent.
And then that whole moment where he sees Andor, because Andor's there to assassinate Dedra during the Gorman massacre. He sees him and he takes him down, and they have that fight, and he's killed. And Andor is like, "Who are you?" Like, he didn't even know. He's been fixated on this dude. He didn't even know who he was the whole time. And he dies saving Dedra. And I don't know if she ever found out, but I thought that was a fitting end. This whole show is also about all the people who helped, who died and never saw the results, which I think is very interesting. And it's kind of funny because if you think about the end of Star Wars, where it's like Luke and Han get the medals, they have no idea all the shit that's gone into this point to get the Death Star plans.
Yeah, I mean, the Death Star plans gets to Leia, and Leia gets them to R2-D2, and R2-D2 gets it to the Rebellion.
But it's actually all because of Luthen. Luthen starts this thing, Rebellion, right? If there was no Luthen, then Dedra would not be looking into Access. And because Dedra looked into Access, she got files she wasn't supposed to see that Lonnie saw, and he tells Luthen. So it's really Dedra's fault. She's kind of the hero. She helped the fucking Rebel Alliance take down the Death Star unknowingly. And all that shit was great. Lonnie telling Luthen, and then Luthen goes, "I'll keep you safe," and then he kills Lonnie. And then for a moment, there's only one person alive who knows this information, because then he tells Clea, and then Luthen dies. And I'm like, shit, Clea's the only one left that knows any of this.
And Clay has to go in and kill Luthen because they don't want him.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great too.
So the whole scene where Dedra goes to see Luthen and she's got that fucking Star Path unit from the first season and she's onto him, and then he just tries to kill himself, and then she sneaks in with the grandma ET alien. Didn't that look like a ET alien in a wheelchair?
Yeah,
I love that in the elevator when the lady goes, "Eh," and then Claire just goes, "What?" And then that was it. And they're pushing him around. But she has to take him off life support. And then you see in the flashback, Luthen found her as a child. And he was essentially her father figure. And she had to kill him or because that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they don't even believe these fuckers after all this.
Yeah, that was great too.
Andor's got to be like, Luthen did so much. He died for this. He wouldn't say this if it wasn't true. They don't trust him, and finally, they do come on board. Mon Mothma, I think, also has a great arc where she's finally at Yavin, and then you see her as the head of the thing. What else?
Well, yeah, everybody kind of gets their arc. They never really resolved the guy that the mob guy that Mon Mothma was dealing with.
Oh yeah, for the money. Well, there's a lot of things they left on the table. Like remember,
and Luthen never used his lightsaber again.
Oh shit, he had one, didn't he, in the first season?
Yeah.
Remember he was looking for his sister in the very first episode of season 1?
Yeah, they never got back to that either.
I feel like Jyn Erso in Rogue One is kind of like the stand-in for his sister.
What about that he's got a kid now with Bix?
That was an amazing reveal at the end. Bix
that's why Bix left.
So I love that. She leaves a video message going, "You need to focus on this, and if I'm here, you won't be able to." So, and then she's like, "Come find me when this is done," which is so sad. But who's that baby? Some people are like, is that Poe Dameron? I don't know if it's Poe Dameron. But it's so tragic that he has no idea that there's a kid out there. But you can make a show on that fucking kid now.
Yeah, it shouldn't be Poe Dameron.
No, it should be somebody else. Who is this kid?
It should be like Bix should be like raising him, knowing that his father is the guy who got the fucking code to destroy the Death Star.
It's also what, it's what he was fighting for is the future generations so they don't have to live.
Maybe he becomes like a revolutionary or something.
The way they introduced the K2 droids were great too, because at first they're just fucking monsters and they're just tossing people. And then he takes one and reprograms it, and oh fuck, this K2 saves his ass several times. Another interesting thing I noticed in that last episode, you saw stormtroopers without their helmets, which it just adds to like the grittiness of the show, right? It's a little silly when they got the helmets on, but like now that the guy had that big mustache, and I was like, oh my God, these are stormtroopers, and they're not wearing their helmets. You actually see their faces. Very interesting.
I wish there was more aliens in it.
Yeah, I don't even know if it needed aliens though, because it's about the fucking people. It's about the people under the thumb of this fascist authoritarian regime and all the little things they do. And so it's sad that Luthen never gets to see the results. Lonnie doesn't get to see the results. The only people, a lot of people die in this show, which is ballsy. So how does this end? Oh, also, what'd you think about Jimmy's Benjamin Bratt replacing Jimmy Smits as Bail Organa? I thought it was all right. Worked.
Was he didn't do that before?
No.
This is the first time he's done it?
Yes, because Jimmy Smith's schedule wasn't working and he couldn't do the show, so they just put Ben Bratt in there as Bill.
I think he did fine.
Yeah. He felt like the same character,
That's what they used to do all the time, is recast people when they couldn't be there.
Yeah, it's fine. So the last episode, you got that dude Partagas. Oh, first of all, they arrest Dedra, and that whole interrogation scene with Krennic yelling at her was amazing. Even the way they framed it, where he's standing behind her and like the top of his head is cut off. He's just fucking looming, and he puts his finger on her head
and pushes down.
It's so good. He goes, say the words. What would it take for me to come down here? And she says Death Star. And I was like, oh my God, she said Death Star. She said the words. So Partagaz, that the guy, her boss, he's listening to Nemec's manifesto and realizes he's going to go to jail, and he kills himself. Which is fucking crazy. They talk about that dude Tivik trying to get in touch with Cassian. He's on Kafrene, and Cassian is going to meet him. That is the first scene you see in Rogue One of Cassian.
Yeah, they
Andor.
also talk about Urso.
Yes, they mentioned Galen Erso. So the whole thing starts there. And remember Rogue One in the beginning where he just kills the dude right away and you're like, holy shit, this is different Star Wars. Now you kind of know why. And when you see him in Rogue One, it recontextualizes a lot because you think about all the shit this guy has been through to get to this point now that you didn't know. It's kind of crazy. And so at the end, you see Cassian heading for a ship. You got Wilmon and Mon Mothma and Vel on Yavin sitting around eating food. They're all going to be fine. Clea is there. She finds a new purpose in the rebellion, even though she didn't want to go. She didn't think anybody would listen to her. Dedra is in the same jail Cassian was in the first season. That fucking where the floors are hot in episode 10. Did you catch that?
What was that?
Dedra's in the same jail Cassian's in the first episode in that last bit.
With the magnetic floors?
Yes, with the heated up magnetic floors. So that's a nice little full circle moment. You see, You see Saw on Jeddah, which is where he is in Rogue One. Krennic is watching the Death Star get put together. You see Mon Mothma's husband Perrin flying by in a ship with like another lady drinking booze. He looks super bored. And then Cassian sees that Force healer. So there was a Force healer. What did you make of that scene where he meets a Force person?
Well, they toned it down as much as they possibly could.
Yeah.
Basically, she gives him like a reading.
Yeah.
And just says, okay, you're a special dude. I can feel the Force.
You're a messenger. Yeah.
You're a messenger. So, I mean, it was good to have that element in there a little bit, at least.
Do you think he was Force sensitive? She was reading, or she?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, she's almost like a tarot card reader or somebody. But that was nice. That
when you in the Force, you can see visions of the future.
Oh, sure.
Like Anakin saw, these visions of things, like his mother dying and stuff, and then it happened. So. Yeah, it can give you some kind of a foresight, the Force.
Yeah, it was a nice touch. And then we end with Bix in the field with the baby that he's never going to meet.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's sad.
But, look, Tony Gilroy did a great job with this. He didn't, stick the landing. I mean, he stuck the landing, but the opening was a little bit weak. But I feel like, I don't know if we need this, but if they were to do a Mandalorian episode, series, not the Mandalorians that we know of, like with the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, the actual race of the Mandalorians. I'm
talking about the whole battles that go on.
Oh.
It could be like Dune because there's factions of Mandalorians.
We want them to do it in this tone, kind of.
Yeah, and it could be a little bit more action oriented.
You know what else show I wanted to see? When that moment where they come in after Luthen dies and then they come in to do the crime scene investigation and you see them looking at the blood splatter and I was like, let me see this show. Let me see some CSI in the Empire. That could be kind of fun where they just got to deal with murders.
Oh, that's crazy.
On fucking Coruscant and shit.
Law and Order Coruscant.
Yes, give me Law and Order Coruscant in this. Here's the thing. I will give this show credit. It does a lot of things right. There's a lot of great female characters. Also, strong female characters, which is very good. But the world building, every shot of the skyline of any place seems so lived in. The fact that
it looks great.
They shot on location.
So high value. As good as a movie.
Yes.
As good as a movie.
The sets were amazing. The location shooting was amazing. Just even
that hospital scene was great.
The hospital scene where she sets the bombs and they think it's like a whole team and it's just her sneaking in very cleverly. I did think it was weird that she knew exactly how to unhook that thing. I was like, how do you know what the fuck to do here? But okay, whatever.
She's good with machines. It's her job.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she was listening to everything. And even remember that whole sequence where she's trying to get that listening device out and it just seemed to take forever?
Right.
And she's bleeding and she's trying to turn it. But it's like all these little efforts all come together. They all played a part. So just seeing this is, like you said, we said before, it's not a show for everyone. It's definitely a show for people who grew up with Star Wars, who were young when the first trilogy came out, and now we're our age, and we want to see a Star Wars that has grown up with us.
We want to see something that's Game of Thrones using Star Wars.
That's what they have given us. And the level of subtlety and nuance and layered characters. Like, even though I thought the beginning was slow, this whole package, the first season, second season, and Rogue One, this is top-notch, fucking amazing Star Wars storytelling. Like, probably the best I've ever seen. I thought the ending was pretty satisfying. Because if you watch Rogue One right afterwards, it works great. It does kind of roll seamlessly into there.
I don't know. I just can't give Tony Gilroy a pass on making more than half of it boring.
I mean, you got to show some of the spycraft stuff. He's got to go undercover.
No, well, I don't agree because all of these things happen in these 3 years, 3 episodes, 1 year.
Yeah.
And then, so they don't really relate to each other that much. There's things that carry over, but a lot of it doesn't.
What did you think of the release schedule? Should they have just done a movie every week? Or did you like the three episodes a week?
I think that they could have done a movie. I mean, that's essentially what it is.
What it is. They're like 2.5 hour movies, each chunk.
But I think this could be a movie.
Yeah.
They could easily edit this down to like a 2 hour and 40-minute movie. It'd be great.
Remember his original idea was he wanted 5 seasons and to do each year leading up to that in a season. And then they changed it to this.
I watched something about this with Tony Gilroy, and he was like, well, I wanted to do my own thing, but then there was these things that are canon that I have to stick to. So I had to like work around that. I'm like, dude, that is the mission.
Yeah.
The mission is the canon. Don't act like it's a pain in the ass and you have to fucking figure out how to work it into your story. You should be thinking about that and how to work it in and make it something better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand his the way he talked about it. It sounded weird, but
he has given us like sex and drugs and swearing and Star Wars. But even down to the details of like the media, the Imperial media spinning things. There's talk shows. Like you never saw that shit. It seems so lived in. There's apartments with kitchens and sinks, and it just looked very real and believable. And
yeah, it did a lot for Star Wars.
Well, and I also think it helps that this is it's the end of the story, right? They can't milk it. They can't keep going. It's a definitive end. I like that he doesn't. There was rumors that there was going to be like a Princess Leia cameo. So he doesn't put any nostalgia bait in this, really.
No.
And if he does, you have to work for it. Like, I believe there's a Gungan skull in Luthen's fucking antiquity shop in one scene. But all these things, like even, remember the blaster scene where she's like, who belongs to this? And you see the little insignia and Melshi raises his hand. That blaster is the one Cassian got off Cyril and then gave to Ebon Moss-Baccarat's character, who gave to Melshi. And it has it's an Imperial blaster. So just the fact that all the weapons are mixed from different places. And that Saw had the fuel, and they had the Kyber crystals over there in Rogue One. It all ties together very nicely. And even though Rogue One is like a Jyn Erso story, you get a nice, satisfying ending there.
Right, it's kind of like passes the baton, and then he's the last person that you see at the end of the movie when they get blown away. So
it's also great that Moff Tarkin takes credit for the Death Star from Krennic, because Krennic was so into this. This was his baby project, and you see in the Empire, like there's no loyalty. Like they'll fucking throw you under the bus in 2 seconds, even in the Empire, in this corporation.
Yeah. It's like a big corporation.
It's a big corporation, and like it doesn't really matter. Like the minions don't matter. They were going to kill all of them, and people slowly realize that. But the show is the cost of rebellion. All the people that died, all the people that don't even know what's going to happen, all the little things. Like he gets that right. I love the pull from history and the allegories to real life stuff. I mean, that speech Mon Mothma gave was amazing. where she says that, what does she say? The destruction of truth is the ultimate victory of evil. And
That's true.
And you're like, God damn, this fucking happening right now. But then she calls out Palpatine. And then she's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
That was cool, that whole episode where Andor's got to get her out. And it's touch and go most of the time.
Yeah, because Bale's team was had spies in it.
Yeah, it was no good.
Yeah. And then I believe there's an episode of Rebels where the ghost takes Mon Mothma to Yavin at some point. But then she's there. So I don't know where that slots in. But that's all happening at the same time. Here's the other issue. I don't think a lot of people are watching this show, even though it is the best fucking Star Wars thing.
Well, it's
not for everyone.
Once again, Tony Gilroy stacking this beginning of this with a lot of a slog to get through to get to the good stuff. It's not good. And I feel like a lot of people aren't going to watch it because they're going to be watching 3 episodes and go, I don't know what's so good about this.
I mean, there's a lot of names and it's not spoon fed. All the things Anthony said when we reviewed the first 3 episodes. But Game of Thrones did the same thing. And I feel like if he watches the rest of it, he might kind of enjoy some of it because it does pay off. Do you think it paid off?
Yeah, it does. But I still am mad that I had to watch a couple of wastes of episodes. I do feel like it is not, it's marred by that.
Yeah.
So
did it make
like some people loved it. Some people, I've talked to many people recently and they all loved it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I loved the last half of it. It was great. Like I'm talking like as good as it gets.
Absolutely. 8 through 12.
TV.
Yeah.
But that first bunch of episodes, you could throw them right in the garbage.
Nothing of merit.
Well, it's just like, it doesn't really pay off. Like, and not only that, it was not necessary. So like one thing, it's like, if you really need this part of the story to get the rest of it, you could just start on when they have the meeting for Gorman and watch the rest of it, and then you'll get it all.
But I think it was important, that episode where he's undercover on Gorman. We really needed to know what was happening in this city, right? So they mentioned an incident earlier where Grand Moff Tarkin just landed his cruiser on top of people and killed people, which is kind of fucking hilarious. And there's a monument there. I love that this planet looks like a mesh of European countries, and even that made-up language sounds like French and German and a bunch of other things smushed together. So you have the rebels, you have the Imperials working there, and you get the people there. I felt like it was kind of important to establish that, because in 7 it starts to build up, and then 8 it boils over, and then it's all the aftermath after that. But man, the massacre scene, and like Andor is just standing around for most of it. I think he shoots like 2 stormtroopers, but he didn't seem to be helping much.
No,
he was just like looking. But it was crazy, spinning a genocide into insurrection. I mean, it's a classic playbook. It's a classic move from a historical playbook. Happens all the time. And even on the news, they're like, these brave Imperial souls will go down as martyrs.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
They're the good guys.
It's great. Yes, I love that. All the little details paid off. All right, well, give me final thoughts. Give me a rating.
Final thoughts is last half, amazing. Definitely puts Rogue One into a different category.
And even Star Wars, to an extent.
Star Wars as well.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with Andor, besides the slow start, is Andor himself. I feel like he's not very charismatic either. And, he could have been a cooler character to get behind, but he just seems, it was just kind of like, okay. He was not, I was more interested in other characters and like Luthen and even Mon Mothma and Clay. All these other characters are kind of more interesting to me that we didn't get to spend as much time with. Cyril was interesting. Dedra was interesting.
Luthen,
Luthen, very interesting, but Andor is the weakest of the bunch, so I think that's a problem. But other than that, the fucking show is great, and you should watch it. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
All right.
Sure.
I kind of liked Andor. He had the potential to be like Han Solo level of character, and I thought it was going to get there. I kind of see where you're going. It is an ensemble cast, but I really liked his arc and all the things he'd been through, all the things he's seen. But if you
imagine Andor was Daniel Craig.
Oh God, well,
like he could sell that kind of silent type better than this guy who kind of just there's not really much to him.
I mean, what are his character traits? Like he didn't want to get involved. He reluctantly agrees, but then you see him wanting to do the right thing and help and change. But I don't know. It's hard to pin him down. So that's why I kind of see where you're coming from. But overall, the cast, the costumes, the music, the directing, the writing, it's absolutely a 9 out of 10. I think it's as good as the first season. I love the Prison Break episode.
Like I think the first season's got better pacing, and so it's spaced out better, so it doesn't feel as bottom heavy.
But the back half of this season 2 are as good as anything you're going to get, and as good as the first season. The whole thing, though, season 1, season 2, Rogue One, I'll give it a 10. If you watch all that shit, that's a fun ride. Did it make you want to watch Rogue One afterwards?
I thought about it.
Yeah. I'll give it a spin. It is, the fucking movie's great. I forgot how good it is. That whole fucking battle scene on Scarif at the end, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But quality Star Wars, hard to follow up Skeleton Crew, which was like a kid family show, and then you have this with fucking space heroin. And
well, maybe they learned something from this. I mean, they spent a lot of money on this show.
Yeah,
they really did.
Yeah,
and they're not going to get the returns from it because it's just not for like the wider audience. Because like, think about it, like they're talking about adults that are probably 30 and above, or 25 and above that would even have the patience to watch it. And if you're Anthony, you don't have the patience to watch it.
Yeah.
So not everyone's going to be able to lock in here. So I think that if Tony Gilroy wants to do it, I think make it a little bit more action oriented.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and kind of like not keep it so dry, like get some personality into some of these people, just a little bit. I'm just saying, like, move it degrees. Don't make these swinging changes, but just degrees.
Little shift.
Yeah, and I think that you got a formula on your hands for great television, and maybe you could even get some of these younger 20s peoples to kind of watch it too.
So I think
you need a romance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You need a romance.
Well,
you had it with Bix, but it wasn't really a real romance. Yeah. You need a good romance, like a good push-pull romance. You need a great bad guy. You need some questionable guys you don't know if they're going to turn or not. And then you got yourself a show.
I think the greatest thing Tony Gilroy has done with the show is show us that Star Wars can be this. It can be adult, it can be gritty, and it can also be Skeleton Crew. But it can also be Andor, and I don't know. I hope they keep him around. I hope Star Wars gives him more projects. I don't know what he can do next, since this story is kind of closed loop here. But there were so many times where I was like, I want to see this show in here. I want to see this show. Whoa, what's that? Show me that show. So yeah, great. I mean, it's great. It's so good.
Tony Gilroy did Skeleton Crew too.
No. He did not. I'm just saying it can be. He's shown us that Star Wars can be something adult.
Okay, I think
in contrast to Skeleton Crew.
Oh, in contrast to Skeleton Crew.
Star Wars can be that, and it could be fucking this. It's almost something for everybody.
Sure,
but yeah, it's an achievement, and it's very good. I don't know what else you could say. It's very good. Give it a chance, especially the second season, because it does pay off. And I thought it picked up, and I was like, fuck. That was really good. And the more I think about it, I'm like, this is really good. It's really good writing. Really nuanced. So, all right.
It didn't unfold like I thought it would, but it did unfold in a way that was satisfying.
Yeah.
That made sense for the choices that they made. So that I gotta hand it to them. That like I very rarely will like I think it should go this way, and then it goes in another way. I'm like, no, but that's actually pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things made sense. All right. Let's get Anthony back in the capsule here from outer space. So we'll do some.
Let me get the fish hook and I'll
grab the hook. I'll open the door. We'll do some news from the nation.
I'll reel him in.
Okay.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Hold on, I gotta let Anthony back in from the vacuum of space here. Give me a second. Anthony! Whoa! Oh, let me close the door. Jeez, the fucking airlock on this thing. Welcome back, sir.
Where am I?
How was the negative zone? You were just in the negative zone for a while, but
I missed the Andor review.
You did, but that's okay because you didn't watch it.
Oh, thank God.
All right, here I got some comments from our listeners about some of the trailers we discussed earlier. Let's start with the Superman trailer. John Bellotti Jr. just posted the eggplant emoji. I guess that means he likes it.
Geek
I think that's what that means. Sebi Ravi said, my biggest takeaway from this trailer is that they definitely cast the right guy as Superman. We'll see whether the story is just as good. Okay. Bruce O'Hue says there's quite a bit going on in this trailer. Too much for one movie. A single movie that is supposed to launch a new shared universe. Yeah, Bruce, there's a lot going on. Steve Morrison says a lot to like in this trailer. It is the anti-Zack Snyder Superman. So, yeah, if you want that angle. Anna Morris says, I think this looks awesome. They tightened the suit up a bit, it seems, but I like that it's not a muscle suit, though the Snyder bots disagree. LOL, sci-fi heavy, colorful, hopeful. I'm in. So, people give them a little more geek boner. They're digging this. The Ironheart trailer, Adam Morris has this to say. Honestly, I have very little interest in another story like this with the Iron Man model. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll check it out. But I'm most interested in the intro of the Hood and his weird magic powers. Yeah. Steve Morrison also says the completion side of me needs to watch this. I have to see all Marvel. I mean, I swear, Inhumans in a theater, this can't be that bad. I think did you see Inhumans in the theater? Remember they did show that in the theater?
Maybe.
When that show launched or something? And it was, but I'm
the Inhuman show?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They were like touting that it filmed in IMAX.
Oh my God, that's
and then
right.
They were trying to make it a thing where you could see it in the movie theater in IMAX. And after the first one, it just bombed.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on the completionist thing because that's why I'm watching all these things. And then to segue into what are we watching, we have an instant reaction from Jose Ibarra for Final Destination's Bloodlines. It opened at number one, made like $50 million this weekend. Jose says it only took 25 years and 6 movies to make a really good film. As someone that's actually a fan of these crappy movies, I asked if there's ever been a mediocre franchise that has released an absolute gem this deep into the series. This film was really fun. Tony Todd's final scene is the chef's kiss. I've heard this, the same thing, that it's actually really good. It's better than it should be. But that's a good question. I can't think of a franchise that's just put out like just whatever movies that people forget about and then puts out a really good one.
Well, not necessarily the same, but I would personally argue that Mission Impossible got better as it went along.
That had come to mind. But that was like a progressive increase in quality. He's making it sound
not
like
necessarily. I thought it was more like a kind of a okay start, then kind of yeah, and then like didn't figure out what it was until much later. But yeah, what is another movie that like what Jose is mentioning?
I can't really think of another franchise that's putting out shit, and then all of a sudden they put out like a really good movie.
The Transformers franchise is like up and down, up and down, up and down.
Like, Bumblebee.
Bumblebee would be a good example.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, they released an actual good movie.
Yeah. No, good question. I kind of want to go see this. I haven't watched all of them, but I'm hearing it's a lot of fun. And I love just the Rube Goldbrick fucking death scenes. Are very creative, right? They're fun to watch.
Goldbergian.
They're Goldbergian. They're very fun. I can't see what other fears it will unlock. I can't wait to see what other fears it unlocks in you once you watch these movies. Because that's what it does. Like, after you watch that, you can't drive behind a truck with logs anymore. Just, no. But let's slide into what are we watching, fellas? The Last of Us. We got the penultimate episode 6.
This is the Peen episode.
This is the Peen episode. Because next week is the finale, which we will be discussing. Anthony, since you didn't watch the Andor, you're watching this.
I did.
What'd you think of this flashback episode with the internet's daddy returning?
I really liked it. You know, I sometimes these episodes where they stall momentum and flashbacks sometimes can be a little painful with other shows, and Walking Dead a lot of times would do this. But I thought this one was good because it answers a lot of the things of why there was this tension. Remember, we were debating if she knew or not. She always kind of knew.
Yeah.
I like that it adds context to how they're, the teenager / father relationship and how it evolves, and the year by year going with her birthdays and how she starts to really pull away from him. I liked that. I also like that it gives context to the fact that now we know what kind of headspace she's in for hunting these people. That was literally the last thing that they talked about was the truth and her trying to forgive him. So you kind of get a little bit of, you don't get to see Joel anymore, but you get a little, at least resolution that they had tried to make things better. So I thought it was good. I liked it a lot.
Man, lots of character development and story, even though it's like a flashback episode. We also,
and I love that Pedro Pascal, Daddy, he's back. Yeah. And I love the line where he goes, sex, drugs, or tattoos,
sex,
drugs, and sex with women.
Yeah.
Doing all the teenage shit at once.
Yes, he is. We also find out about Eugene, the therapist's husband.
Yeah, that was good too.
And we find out what actually goes down, which leads to Joel lying to Gail in front of Ellie, which leads to Ellie going, all right, I had my suspicions, but you got to come clean. And I love her rehearsing the questions. The funniest thing to me was the opening flashback scene where it's Joel and Tommy and they're like teenage boys with their dad, who's the swordsman, Tony Dalton from Hawkeye. Pedro Pascal was like a white boy when he was a teenager. That I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was like Tommy looked like that guy younger. But I was like, oh, Pedro, when he was a teenager, was just a white boy. But he is Joel, whatever. Ruggs. What'd you think of the birthday flashbacks and the whole sequence?
No, I thought the whole episode was good.
Very good. It's very good.
I like the show. It's a good show. You should watch it.
I mean, there's no action in it, but you don't really miss it.
It doesn't need to be an action show all the time. It just needs to look. You can take a break. Last episode, there was a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
And this is like a really important thing that we need to fill the gap.
Yes.
It's not like they're just spinning their wheels developing some boulder bullshit. This answers a big question.
Yeah.
Did she know?
And she found out just a little bit before the show, or during the show, when the show started. She just found out this happened. Also, I heard this changes a big thing in the game, which could make this have a different ending in the game. I believe in the game, she finds out what Joel did at the very end of the game. And here they've moved it up, but it makes a lot of sense. And even that whole museum trip with the space shuttle and going into her imagination with the it was fucking fantastic and touching.
Well, that's shot for shot from the game.
That's what, I watched that too. In the game, you walk around a lot longer looking at dinosaur bones before you get to the thing. But it was just so emotional, so touching. They do a great job of showing you the 5-year gap and how their relationship changed. And the fact that she's like, I don't know if I can forgive you, but I want to try. And that's the last thing she says to him because he is murdered the following day. It's so good.
Well, he's like told her he did it because he loved her.
Yeah. Oh my God. Great. Fucking acting.
Just think about Joel. All right. Joel lost his kid.
Yeah.
And that probably is the kind of pain you never want to feel again.
Right.
And just knowing that you felt it once before and having somewhat gotten past it enough to like survive.
Yeah.
Like it would just completely break him. I don't think but he was being selfish.
Absolutely.
And so those two things are happening. Is he does love her, but he is being completely selfish.
He's being selfish, but I think anyone, I don't have kids, but I think anyone that does have kids would probably do the same.
Absolutely. That's a tough
And
decision.
he felt like she was a kid to him or his kid. And I like that he goes and I would do it again.
Yeah.
And I like that, which was not in the game. I like that they add the context of like his dad. It's a little cheesy, but his dad having beaten him, but then telling the story about how his grandfather broke his jaw, and he's like, "Listen, like I'm just trying to be a little better. Like you'll understand." He's basically saying, "You'll understand when you get older and you have kids."
And he says
hopefully
the same
you
line.
do it a little better than Hopefully you're just a little better than I am.
It's the generational trauma or trying to fight it, and then he says the same thing to her, and it's just so poetic.
Well, it's the trauma, but it's also like we can learn from this. Like, we're trying to be better than what we were before.
Dude, as
It's not perfect, but we're better.
as a guitar player, I love that whole scene where he fixes up the guitar. Like, it's so accurate. When he's cutting the bone, I was like, oh, he's making the fucking nut. He's making the bridge, this bone bridge, and that's in fact because that's a real bone on a guitar. It's supposed to be. And then it was great. I was like, that's a nice guitar. And the little inlay he puts, just good Luthering stuff. I believe that's what it's called. A Luther is a guitar maker. But fuck, man, this show is good. Can't wait to see where cliffhanger they leave us on.
Real good. Hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, because I don't know if it looks like in the scenes from next episode, there's going to be more action and stuff, and with the Abbey and whatever. Okay, what else? Anthony, you saw something. You posted a Patreon instant reaction to a movie called Friendship.
I did. Because I am now an Alamo person, and I'm on the Anthony Polanski train. Saw that this movie, amongst the cinephiles, was getting a lot of hype. It was a pretty packed showing, so I said, fuck it, I'm going to go see an A24 comedy with Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. It was fun seeing it with a more A24-y audience. I think this audience clearly likes Tim Robinson.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat.
Yeah, I mean, there were people laughing as soon as the movie started going. Like, people laughed at everything and the parts that weren't even funny, people were laughing.
Wow.
But that was good energy, right? It added a little bit more. I've never really watched Tim Robinson. I know he's on the I Think You Should Leave Netflix show.
That's his sketch show, yeah.
King of cringe comedy, and this being his thing. The movie is, it's funny. It's filmed very like artsy A24 horror movie style.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not a horror movie at all.
No.
It's really a sketch comedy, like a bunch of bits that are tied into a movie.
That makes sense.
There is some I thought it was funny. You have to, and it's not all funny. It doesn't always hit. Sometimes the way he acts, Tim Robinson, who is the main character.
Yeah.
It's almost like, because he has a wife and kid in the movie. It's like, there's no way this guy would ever have a wife and kid. Like, no one would ever tolerate this guy.
This guy.
The basic premise here is Tim Robinson is playing this corporate marketing guy. His marriage and his relationship with his wife is kind of not great. And a package gets delivered to his house that isn't for him. It's for his neighbor, Paul Rudd. He delivers it to Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is this charismatic weatherman neighbor, and they form a quick relationship, like a friendship. And Paul Rudd and him are like best of friends, or they're becoming really tight. And then Tim Robinson gets really weird one night and ruins everything. And then Tim Robinson's basically, his character's lost without Paul Rudd. And he's like trying to reclaim that friendship or trying to find it with his wife. And he just keeps making it worse and worse and worse for himself.
I've seen some clips on YouTube from I Think You Should Leave, and that you just described like every Tim Robinson sketch. He plays a guy, and then Tim Robinson gets weird in the middle, and then people react. That's his whole shtick. Ruggs, you've seen this guy? You heard of this guy?
I've never really given him much attention. I know who you're talking about.
He's pretty funny. He's got a very unique point of view comedy perspective.
Was he a SNL guy, right?
He might have been a writer. He was on one season briefly, probably. But there's people in the office that are like, oh my God, you got to watch this show. And I've seen clips and it's cringe funny.
Yeah.
It's 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I kind of wanted to check this out. It'll probably be on streaming soon. A24.
Yeah, I'll watch it on streaming for sure.
What else? Ruggs, what'd you watch?
Well, I watched Love, Death, and Robots season 2. And I
Yes.
enjoyed it a lot.
I also watched that. Great.
It was a quick watch.
Yeah. They're all like 8 to 15-minute episodes, and there's only 8 of them. Real quick, did you have any favorites?
Yes, I love the one. I think it's a continuation from the other one with the gangs versus the babies.
Oh, the 400 Boys was wild.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
I love the animation style, and the look of that was fucking great.
I was like, I could watch a whole series of this. And then what else? There was a couple of other ones I really liked, but
the weirdest thing, Anthony, the first episode of this animated anthology is literally a Red Hot Chili Peppers music video. It's a concert of them and everybody as marionettes, and they just play Can't Stop, and everybody's a marionette, and there isn't even any story. I don't know why they did this, just to be like, look, we can make people look like marionettes, but the animation was good, but it was very. What'd you think of that, Ruggs? It was just like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
it was okay. That was okay. That was not my other one that I really thought was incredible. Was the World War II one?
Oh my god! I love that art style. It reminds me of like really good comic books. That's Zeke Finds Religion. I think that one's called.
Yeah, that was just. I would watch a movie of that too.
You know what? Which one I wanted to continue actually was the cat one with the robot that they take over the world.
That was great.
That
too.
was so fucking funny. And at the end,
it just went so fast.
It went, and then when it ended, I was like, "Oh no! I gotta see what happens when these cats and robots fucking kill all the humans."
But the 400 Boys,
400 Boys, is great.
And the guy who gets religion, Zeke gets religion. Yeah. Those two are so unique looking. They don't look like anything else.
But then you have they always have a great episode that is so fucking photorealistic that you forget that it's animated. And that's the one where the aliens come to the beach and they talk to the dolphin. That animation on that was stunning. I was like, this is fucking animated. It looks so real.
No, it can't be animated. That's real. That's real, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think that was this is an animated anthology. That was all animation, and it looked fucking stunning.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Yes.
I could not tell.
Yes. I think that's how good it's gotten.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't think it's because none of these have live action.
I remember that there was one with live action in the other season with but I don't know. Is that all computer graphics? I don't know.
I think it is because there's just still a little tiny bit of like uncanny like a little tiny bit. But that's the best I've ever seen. Anyways, real good, real quick watch. It's 10 episodes, but they're all really short.
Yeah, that was cool. So I say you should check it out if you have.
Yeah. Season,
if you like the first one, it's great.
Season. I didn't know there's 4 seasons.
The other thing I watched. Yeah. So I'm on Amazon Prime, scrolling around, and I see this thing from the 90s. I was like a kid. I don't know how old was I? 18, 19 when this came out. It was called Black Scorpion. It was a TV show.
Are you sure
that
this is a movie and not the name of a dildo?
Yeah, it's not the Black Scorpion.
Okay. Oh, this is a real TV show. Okay,
it's a TV show. I don't even know where it was on. If it was on the USA or something, but it was like this chick who's dressed like Katana from Mortal Kombat, driving like a Batmobile and fighting crime. But I'm like, I gotta throw one episode of this just to see what it is. And it's Roger Corman, as I guess it's his production company.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so it's like really schlocky.
Yeah.
And like they have cameos of all like, this is so low budget, but they blow shit up. There's shit blowing up all over the place in this. It's like shot on like a Sony Handycam. It's like very low budget.
Garrett Morris.
But like fucking Martin Cove.
Oh, really?
He was the bad guy in the episode.
Oh, Kreese is in it?
Yeah, Kreese is in it. He's the bad guy, and he's like a RoboCop type character. He comes and he has like an arm cannon, and he's shooting, and he's wearing like face makeup and dreads, and like he's the bad guy. And I watched the first episode, just to get like a taste of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this is fucking so bad. I would probably watch another episode.
There was a TV movie in 95, and then a TV series comes out in 2001.
Yeah, and so Adam West,
And there's one
Frank Gorshin's in it.
Oh my god.
Fucking, there's all these people that you've seen in all of these other shows, but it's really, really bad. But I'm so happy that I watched it.
Just one season, 22 episodes. So how do you find this shit is my question. Because I've never heard of it.
My algorithm is so fucked up from on my Amazon Prime, especially because that's where I watch all my Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Fucking things.
Because like Amazon's got all this obscure, like really bad shit. Like they got the best like exploitation movies, and they do. They have like just really bad movies, and I check it out every once in a while, and I'll get like something will pop up, and I'm like, wow, this is such a throwback. So bad, so terrible, but I enjoyed it. I was like, Scott Valentine from fucking Family Ties is in it. He's just in it. It's just fucking crazy. And the girl's hot.
Okay.
She is.
Okay.
She's Black Scorpion's pretty sexy. She's always working out. Like,
okay.
She's in her apartment. Like, she's got like a fucking workout machine. She's constantly sweaty and working out to get into shape to fight crime. And there's no. So quick thing. Her dad's a cop, and he ends up like taking the law into his own hands. So like when she becomes a cop, she decides to do it like to the nth degree. And she has this guy named Argyle, whom she like arrested for crimes or whatever. Apparently, this guy, Argyle, is the best mechanic in the world, and he can create like Tony Stark level tech.
Great.
That can do all kinds of shit, but he lives out of a shitty garage. It doesn't make any sense. It's so bad. Like,
God, what was this even on? Jesus.
I don't know.
I don't know how you find these things. Now I kind of want to watch it.
I watched the shit out of it. I was like, oh, because it's so bad. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, I should have been watching this when I was a kid. I probably avoided it for some reason. But
I'd never heard of this, but Black Scorpion, the series, check it out.
Don't.
I watched Murderbot, Apple TV Plus, first 2 episodes.
I wanted to watch that.
You know what? They're half-hour episodes. It's pretty good. It's funny. It's dark. Essentially, the setup here is, and you have this robot, one of the Skarsgårds doing his inner monologue that you hear, and he's hilarious. But this robot figured out a way to hack his code so that he doesn't have to listen to people, but he has to pretend that he is still compliant. Meanwhile, he's just like talking shit about the humans. He can hear everything, and he gets teamed up with these hippie scientists who are on this science mission. It was pretty good. It goes by real quick, half hour, real fun. I'm going to check out the rest of it.
Apple TV, right?
Apple TV. Did you catch up on the studio? That CinemaCon Part 1 finale?
No.
That's really good. The 2-part finale is about them going to CinemaCon, which is hilarious. So I recommend Murderbot. It's good sci-fi. A lot of money there. Looks good. I watched Novocaine. That's on Peacock or Max. With
Is that good?
It's okay.
Oh yeah,
I heard it was good.
Jack
it's
Quaid.
Not, huh?
It's kind of forgettable. Jack Quaid playing a guy who can't feel pain. He's got to rescue his girlfriend. Blah blah blah. There's a twist. It's all right. They could have pushed the whole concept a little further. They do push it pretty far, and it's got a crazy ending, but it's kind of forgettable. I mean, Companion is a much better Jack Quaid movie.
Yeah,
kind of came out at the same time. So it's a fun light watch. You're going to forget about it. And then sliding into kind of our next week's assignment, I'm trying to watch all the Mission Impossible movies after reviewing the second one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I watched 3 and 4, which is...
So you got the J.J. Abrams and the Brad Bird.
And the Brad Bird. So 3, J.J. Abrams, really contrasty, very dark, lots of lens flare. Has a great bridge scene where he's attacked on the bridge and shit, right? That's like...
Good bad guy.
Philip Seymour Hoffman,
the best bad guy of the Mission Impossible series.
Oh, he is an amazing bad guy, and he's just cold-blooded. So that wasn't bad. It doesn't do great at the box office. Then they give it to Brad Bird. 4 makes a little bit more money.
The Ghost Proctologist.
It's 4. No, that's the next one.
Oh,
Rogue Nation.
Oh no, 4 is Ghost Protocol. Yes,
that's what I said.
Ghost Proctologist. Yes.
No, I was wrong.
Yeah, then 5 is Rogue Nation. 4, Brad Bird. That middle Burj Khalifa bit is the best. It's even better than the end of the movie. I thought that was the end. I forgot. It's in the middle. But it has that ridiculous ending where there's a fucking nuclear warhead heading towards San Francisco. And at the very last second, they defuse it and it just bounces off a building into the water. And you're like, nobody saw this? This is not a problem. But the Burj Khalifa bit where they got the two meetings happening simultaneously where they're wearing masks, but the masks don't work. And then they got to switch out and do the move the codes and the jewel. So good. But really, this is, I mean, we'll talk about it next week, but I really
They're all pretty good.
They're all really good. And I'm excited to get, now I'm into the McQuarrie. So I'm going to try to watch 5, 6, and 7 as a refresher, but they're all really good. And I think we'll talk about it next week, but I do think Mission Impossible 2 is the start of Tom Cruise action star full on career.
Yeah.
This is where, I mean, so that movie, is whatever it is, you know, shitty as it is, it's a huge pivotal point in this thing because it gets crazier and crazier. All right. So out this week, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. We will be reviewing it next week. It is currently 80% on the Rotten Tomatoes. And projected to open somewhere between 80 to 110 million in North America. Now, he may run into another shitty thing like he did with the Barbenheimer for the last one. It's opening against Lilo and Stitch live action.
Oh my God.
So,
all the kids that were going to go watch Mission Impossible are going to have to go
audiences. Look, two different audiences. I'll give you that much. But I mean, that movie is supposed to be huge and may make a fucking billion.
No, there's going to be a lot of families going. So a lot of the dads that want to see Mission Impossible have to take their kids to see Lilo and Stitch, a movie they've already seen. God damn it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You've seen this movie. How about a new movie? So it's got a couple of weeks in the theater. Maybe you got Karate Kid. That's not going to do much. And then John Wick.
Fingers crossed it does well.
But I'm expecting. Look, this is what I'm expecting. I'm gonna lower my expectations because I saw some of the early reactions and I was like, I'm expecting it to be a little indulgent. It being the last one.
Yeah, for sure.
Anthony, what about you? What's your mindset? Because you're gonna see things saying greatest action movie of all time, best ever, right? It's not that. It's not gonna be that. It's never that.
I mean, if this is the finale, it's always tough to nail the landing on a finale, especially on a finale that they didn't really planned for, right? This never was expected to go 8 movies or whatever it's at.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. I think it'll be solid. I think this is obviously a fun weekend at the box office. You'll have a lot of people there from all different ages.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's, this is fun for movies.
I'm excited. And then also we will have Last of Us Season 2 finale. So next week, Last of Us Season 2. Mission Impossible.
By the way, the projections are Lilo and Stitch, according to Deadline, 120 million. And Mission Impossible 80. But this is from May 1st, so maybe this is
still. How's one movie going to pull 120, another movie pull almost another 100 million? I find that I don't know. Is there enough?
What do you mean?
No. There?
That's what Barbenheimer did.
That's true. Yeah, but it's not quite. I don't know. Is it quite the pull? Maybe we'll see.
No, it's not. That's probably not the same.
Yeah.
And Barbie, what is our Barbie's opening weekend? Let's just look it up.
It was like 160. Yeah, it was insane. It was an insane. And then what was Oppenheimer?
Is the last movie out?
Which one?
Oppenheimer was 82.
No, I'm saying the last Mission Impossible before this one. Is that out anywhere?
Yeah. It's all on Paramount Plus. You can watch all the Mission Impossible movies there. 1 through 7. Yes.
See, if it would have been on like Netflix, so everybody could have watched it. I think
maybe. Yes, but it's Paramount owns it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they should have leased that one out.
I like it. It's got all the red. They've like made the thumbnails like graphic red, black and white for each movie, and it's clearly numbered. And you just want to watch all of them, which is what I'm trying to do.
Maybe I should watch the one before it.
I would. Yeah, maybe watch Dead Reckoning again.
I did a quick recap video of Dead Reckoning.
Yes. There's also a recap video of like the whole franchise. You go if you want to do that. I'm doing this the hard way and trying to shove all these movies in. Even though
Imran needs to put things in his brain.
Let me just, otherwise I'm going to forget. Anyways, that's it for this week, fellas. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
Rug Boy Show on X.
Anthony, you can find Anthony at the Alamo and at your, I don't know, where? Local.
At your mom's house.
At your mom's house, yes.
I'm at your mom's house for sure.
Yeah, in the basement. Check the basement. He's there. In the meantime, listener, check out
I'm your father now. After I'm done with her.
Who's your daddy? It's not Pedro Pascal. It is now Anthony Polanski. Check out our website, jockandnerd.com. Link in the episode description for all the ways to support and get in touch. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Be more funny. How dare you do this to us?
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Jock and Nerd.